Hi, my name's Danielle Finnegan. I have FASD. We're going to make a movie about FASD and we're going to try not to make it boring.
Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
25 million people under the age of 40 have fetal alcohol spectrum disorder.
One of those people is Danielle Finnegan. Dorothy adopted Danielle when she was 10 days old. They presently both live on Salt Spring Island, British Columbia.
This is my mom, Dorothy. She's going to talk about my childhood.
Well done, dear.
And do nothing. This awareness campaign is in partnership with GIFTS, Gulf Islands Families Together Society. The goal of this movie is to raise awareness about FASD on Salt Spring and surrounding Gulf Island.
Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, or FASD, describes a range of effects that can occur in an individual who is prenatally exposed to alcohol. The effects can include physical, mental, behavioral, and learning disabilities. FASD is a lifelong, brain-based disability that impacts individuals, their families, and society.
There is no treatment for FASD. There's understanding and acceptance. And for me, one of the hardest things was to accept that I have FASD, because I didn't like that diagnosis when I got it, and it was very upsetting to me. And it's frustrating because everybody else can do stuff and you can't do the same things, but you're expected to do the same things. And there's nothing wrong with you because you look like everybody else, but the reality is your brain is damaged. I didn't really get diagnosed with FASD until I was in my late 20s. I went to school, I went to kindergarten in French immersion, and that was a very, very bad idea. I couldn't speak English properly, let alone French, and so I have no idea what anybody said. But I did learn to count to 10 in French, but that could have been because of Sesame Street and not really French immersion. And then I went to elementary school and everybody else could do everything that I couldn't do. So I was eventually diagnosed with dyslexia, as FASD was not even on the radar. I'm old. That was a long time ago. My mom kept fighting and realized that there is something still not quite right with me. And eventually she went to an FASD conference, and then with all of the traits that she learned there, she had me diagnosed. And then they discovered, yes, I do have FASD. And we are trying to increase awareness and lose the stigma around FASD. I was very angry, but I was also in a way relieved because it explained why I can't do things like everybody else can. It was very frustrating my entire life. School sucked and I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and I went with that, and I went to 2 schools for dyslexics only, 2 different schools for dyslexics only at 2 different times in my life. And then by the time I graduated, which I didn't actually because I was the math credit short, I'd had 22 tutors and a speech therapist. 7 years after I technically graduated in 1991, minus the math credit, of course, I went and got my GED, and I passed that by 2 points in math, because math sucks. I have to reiterate that a lot. Math really sucks. Most people with FASD can't do math.
And the sad thing is we know that there are so many other people out there. And I'm sure in our community we've got lots of them.
1 in 4 people.
Yeah. But lots of people who've never had any kind of support behind them. And so let's hope that more awareness will develop. And that, because I think that's your role. I mean, you're already an advocate.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, and you can continue to be more so. And I mean, even just within our circle of friends here on Salt Spring, they're now becoming aware of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, which before somebody say, oh yeah, I've heard of that, but have no idea.
I met Danielle through her, she's got an amazing Facebook page that is an educational platform about FASD. She posts regularly destigmatizing and educating people around it from her own perspective as someone who has FASD.
Come join my Facebook page at Gulf Islands. FASD Facebook page.
Hoping the people wake up. I'm hoping the people wake up. I am hoping the people wake up sometime soon.
A growing coalition of individuals is working to end the stigma through research, public education, and training for caregivers and those affected by fetal alcohol spectrum disorder.
I have learned so much from it. I really appreciate how much she's really confronting a lot of the stereotypes and stigma around FASD, but also she really acknowledges the normalization of drinking in our culture, and as well that there is a lot of misinformation about drinking during pregnancy, and a lot of folks think that they can have one or two drinks here or there throughout a pregnancy. And through her education, I've learned that that's any amount of alcohol is not healthy for a growing fetus or growing baby. I love the idea about people with FASD leading the way in terms of education and support around the community. I think peer-led initiatives are so important, and they actually have the most effect, at least in my experience, at least within the sexual health world and other sort of initiatives around mental health and drug use. Even I've seen peer-led initiatives really have a huge impact. I think having her go to the high schools and speak to youth would be incredible. She has such an incredible presence, and she has a wonderful sense of humor, and she has so much knowledge and lived experience of what it's like to live with FASD. And I think talking to youth while they're young about the effects of alcohol on pregnancy can be really powerful. And I think that our community, we need to learn more, and there needs to be more education, and also there's so much stigma and stereotyping around FASD and not a lot of information that's accurate. So her providing that would be incredible.